Very good evening. Welcome to State of Business on our television. I'm Ashwini Veerasinghe. Let's have a look at the headlines for today. New Attorney General Dappula Dilivera sworn in before President. Security arrangements revised at Bandaranaike International Airport, says Sri Lanka Air Force. Acting Attorney General Dappula Dilivera was sworn in as the new Attorney General before President Maithripala Sirisena at the Presidential Secretariat today. Furthermore, H.M. Gamini Senaviratne has been appointed as new Secretary to the Ministry of Internal and Home Affairs and Provincial Councils and Local Government, while K.J. Ashoka Alawatta has been appointed as the new Secretary to the Ministry of Primary Industries and Social Empowerment. The Chinese government has donated 10 jeeps to the Sri Lanka Police Department. Chinese ambassador in Sri Lanka, Chen Shuo-yuan, presented the relevant documents and keys to the President Maithripala Sirisena at the Presidential Secretariat on Wednesday. The jeeps were donated upon a request made by the President Sirisena following his assumption of control of the police department. The jeeps were donated upon a request made by President Sirisena following his assumption of control of the police department. Secretary to the President Udayar Senaviratne and Acting IGP C.D. Vikramaratne and several others were also present on this occasion. The Sri Lanka Air Force has announced the new arrangements made to facilitate the passengers arriving and departing the Bandaranaike International Airport. The SLAF has taken this measure as the passengers were inconvenienced because of the enhanced security checks implemented since the 21st of April. Passengers arriving on flights and passengers arriving for flights had to walk a considerable distance after disembarking from their vehicles or before boarding their vehicles due to the fact that the SLAF was compelled to prohibit the entrance of vehicular traffic to the airport entrances, the release said. Accordingly, arrangements have been made to facilitate the entrance of vehicles to the respective gates for drop-off and pick-up of passengers and to minimize the distance that passengers have to walk with their baggage. During a press briefing conducted by the International Monetary Fund, Director of the IMF Communications Department, Jerry Rice, in response to a question regarding potential debt relief to Sri Lanka following the Easter Sunday attacks, had this to say.
What I'd say, of course, we're, as the Managing Director, had said we're deeply saddened by the horrific attacks in Sri Lanka, and we have offered our condolences to the authorities and to the people who have been so badly affected there. On the substance of IMF help, we have a program there with Sri Lanka that's ongoing, and indeed next week our executive board will consider the request from the authorities to complete the review of the fifth review under our program, and indeed, and I think this is the important issue, to extend that program by one additional year, which would mean until June 2020, and that extension, again, to be approved by our board, discussed and approved. That extension will provide additional time to the authorities to anchor macroeconomic stability and complete their reform agenda. Outstanding access of about $500 million under the arrangement will be rephased evenly in 3 tranches over 3 semi-annual reviews under that extension.
Stay tuned for more news after this short break. Welcome back after the break. The working age household population aged 15 and above has increased approximately 0.35 million from 2017 to 2018, the Sri Lanka Labour Force Survey of the Department of Census and Statistics stated. The survey also reported that the labour force participation rate has declined by 2.3% from 2017 to 2018, and the employed population has declined about 0.2 million, and that the employment decline is significant among females compared to males. The estimated unemployment rate is 4.4% and it is a 0.2% increase compared to 4.2% in 2017. There is also a significant increase in inactive population with an increase of about 0.53 million. Reported labour force participation rate is 51.8% in 2018 and given estimated counts in 2018. The estimated economically active population is around 8.4 million. Speaking exclusively to Art Television on BizTalk, Chairman of the ICT Industry Skills Council, Chintaka Vijay Vikrama, made the following statement on the career mapping that is being implemented by the Council.
So what we also try to do is career mapping, which is very important. Yes. So with different levels, like if you pass NVQ level 2, this is the kind of jobs that you can get. If it's NVQ level 3, 4, these are the kind of jobs that you can get. So up to NVQ level 4, we have a career mapping. So that career mapping is very important at any stage. Let's say that you drop out, that will assure you a job. So that means they will be employable. So we are also looking at another area where we send out a lot of skilled labor. So we are even thinking, why don't we send our workers out, giving them more IT knowledge? So that means they can drop more salaries. If you look at most of those people who are employed overseas, they bring a lot of revenue to us. So we can earn more money. But that's just another sector. But we are mainly targeting Sri Lanka. So our people will be better, knowledgeable to use ICT.
Vijay Vikrama further elaborated upon the process used by the Council to ensure that the ICT courses are up to date.
So on ICT, if you talk about, yes, what I mentioned earlier, the career mapping, with that we also look at the different, because this is an area that daily changes, and there's new technology coming in. There is no point our teaching something that is outdated, because if you take that and go to the employers, sorry, you're not employable. So what do? We go through the newspapers, we go through the internet, we get all the information as to see which are mostly in demand. We try to have our programs in line with what is in demand.
Speaking further, Chintaka Vijay Vikrama also elaborated on grant programs that are available for new students.
If a person is right now on NVQ level 3 or 4, let's say again a desktop publisher, he wants to be a programmer, there are grants available where half their course curriculum will be paid by the government for them to enhance their knowledge. Yes, so that is available. And even there are programs. Now we are even in the process of implementation those programs where, let's say that we take the students and half will be paid by the employer, half will be subsidized. Or when they come out of the program after 2 years or 4 years, they have to work a specific number of years at the organization, but they come up with a degree.
Stay tuned for stock updates after this break. Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The all-share price index dropped 24.52 points to close at 5,327.68 and the S&P SL20 dropped 16.74 points to close at 2,519.08. The turnover was 152.8 million rupees and 10.6 million shares were traded. Up next are forex rates. And that's all the news for today. Join us tomorrow at 7 p.m. for Biz Roundup. Until then, take care. Good night.